Hey everybody, we are into December now, am I right? And here's the thing. A lot of people pretty much slide towards the end of the year feeling scattered and exhausted. But I want to help you not to do that. I want to help you to move into the next year aligned and focused. So that's what I want to talk about a little bit today. Instead of ending the year worn out, let's work at clarifying, settling, and moving in with purpose. So the first thing I want to encourage you, three main things I want to talk about. First one is, I want you to finish the end of the year well. Don't finish in a whimper. Don't just kind of drizzle your way out. Don't create a big long to-do list and try to get it all done. Instead, I want to encourage you to take a little bit of a time and develop a few real priorities that you really do want to accomplish before December 31st. Make a simple plan for those priorities. Plan out what you can do to make that happen and put it in your calendar. If you put it in your calendar, it's real. If you put it in your calendar, you can get it done. If you don't, probably won't happen. And then we kind of make excuses, try to make ourselves feel good even though we feel worn out. I want to encourage you, a few priorities, a clear plan, put it in to your calendar. And then, that to-do list, you can keep it if you want to, and you can sprinkle those things in, but don't let them rob you from finishing what you want to do. That's going to be really important, and you have enough time to get it done. You don't have to get it done with frantic, let's get the few things done, and sprinkle in a few from the to-do list. Second thought, review your year. Now we're coming to the end of the year. It's time to review your year and notice what you did and what the Lord is teaching you, what you did and what you didn't do. Clarity rises when you slow down and reflect with God. You surprised to hear me say that? Seems like almost all I talk about is reflection. But clarity rises up when we slow down and reflect with the Lord. So what am I encouraging you to do? First, I want you to try to carve out an hour or two before the end of the year. Could be at night, you could do it in the early evening, or you could do it in your morning time with the Lord. This is very spiritual activity, so don't get all freaked out that it's, you're looking at your life, you're not just reading the Bible and praying. This is looking at your life, looking at 2025 with God. And so take a few hours to do it. And what I'd encourage you to do is skim through your 2025 calendar. Now, for me, I basically do that on my Google Calendar. You may have a written calendar. You may find that your calendar isn't as detailed as you would like. Well, that could be something that you learn from 2025 to possibly keep a little more concrete records for 2026. But what you will find, even skimming through whatever you have, look to see what has happened. Jot down the things, jot down the events. Could be where you vacationed, could be people you saw, could be things you did, could be things that happened. Maybe you had a car accident, maybe something happened, whatever. Record the events, record the challenges you faced, record the wins, and record the surprises. They could be good surprises or bad surprises. But you'll be surprised how many of those you've kind of like, oh, that kind of slipped my mind. So you're getting it up. You're getting it up in front of you. You're getting it up to consider with the Lord. And you're going to sit with Him. And you're going to ask a few questions of God. I want to encourage you to say, Lord, what are you highlighting for me from what I see of this past year? What are you highlighting? What do you want me to see? So you're not just analyzing, you're not just evaluating. That's a little bit of it, but that's a little bit down the road. Right now, what you're doing is you're reflecting with the Lord for His insight. Lord, what are you highlighting? What do you want me to see? What are you forming in me this year? That's huge. Lord, what are you forming in me? Could be character things, could be faith, could be discipline, could be how to relate to others differently, could be a kingdom worldview that's getting clearer. What are you teaching, forming? What do you want me to see? See, reflection, as you've heard me say before, reflection is a doorway to wisdom. We want to not just be growing older. Another year passes, 2025. I can't believe we're in 2025. I remember looking forward to 1984, reading the book in high school. 1984, it was a future reality. Now we're in 2025. How old is this guy? But we don't want time just to pass. We want to grow in wisdom. Third point, now begin planning into 2026. Don't wait for January. Now, I'm not telling to go into detailed planning. I'm not talking about that at all. I'm talking about just starting to let yourself lean forward into the next year. You'll walk into the new year with much more strength if you start to consider 2026 now. Well, what do I mean by that? Well, again, I would encourage you first to take a little bit of time to review, not the events of the year, but to review you in a sense. Review your identity, your design, who you are, who God's made you to be. Review your placement, your roles, where He's placed you. And review your sense of purpose, what it is that you have to offer the world. Those are three really important things from my perspective. Your design, who you are, your identity before God and to people, where He's placed you, your roles and your spheres of influence, and review a little bit about your sense of purpose and what you have to offer the world. So take some time to do that, and here's what you want to start with. As you've kind of reviewed those things, this is who I am, this is what I want to be, this is who I am and what I offer the world. Now consider the year. What are your hopes and your dreams for 2026? And I want to encourage you, let yourself kind of run free. Don't scrutinize now. Maybe you can do that a little bit later. Right now, you want to just let yourself kind of brainstorm with the Lord. Brainstorm about what would you like to have accomplished? Maybe where would you like to go? What things would you like to accomplish? Who would you like to relate to? What would you like to be doing? So start with your hopes and dreams. And a good way to then, once you've kind of started to do that, is go back again to those roles. I'm big on roles. Go back to your roles. It could be your role as a spouse or parent or extended family role, your role as a leader, your role as an employee, your role as a friend. Think about those different roles that you have. Take time to clarify that. That's big. But around each one, now you can start to say, what are my hopes in this area? What are my hopes in relation to my extended family or my children or my spouse? What are my hopes in related to my health? You're starting to think about your role as an kind of governing your own life. That's a role. So what do I need to do with my health or how I handle finance? But you're thinking about what you would like to accomplish. And as you do that, start to prioritize the list. So you get it out there, you're brainstorming, you're getting stuff out. Then you want to prioritize it. And I want to encourage you to keep once you start prioritizing, try to keep it as short as you can. Don't make sure everything's included. Nope, you're going to keep that sheet if you want to. But right now we're just getting down to the few things related possibly to each role, the few things that you want to really accomplish in the year. And as you do that, and particularly as you shorten it, then pull back and look at it a little bit more and say, well, maybe some of them fit more clearly into different quarters. Like this is something I would like to accomplish in January, February, or March. It's kind of a winterish thing and it's something foundational for the rest of the year. This is something I think would fit in the summer. This is a spring thing or a fall thing. I have found that quarters, particularly when we think of them in terms of seasons of the year rather than just business quarters, but seasons of the year, because our lives are not in business quarters, they are in our job, but our lives are in seasons. The seasons of the year affect the kind of like goals and what we would hope for and what our priorities can be for them. So see if they'll fit into goals. And then if you see some order starting to fall into place, that can bring some calm. So there's a hope that you have for the year, but you know what? That's not till the spring. It's something that I'll be gently praying about or preparing for. But I'm not worrying. I'm not getting uptight about it. No, right now I'm focusing on these things that are going to be in quarter one, something like that. Once you've kind of done that, that's all I want to encourage you to do right now. Stop. Once you've done that, stop or you'll get way overloaded. What I want you to do is just stop. Whoo. You don't need to make a full plan yet. Let it start to percolate in the back of your mind, percolate down in your spirit with the Lord. You can pull out your notes that you've just developed over this, these couple weeks. Pull them out and you can look at them every once in a while, review them with the Lord, kind of pray over them, but don't make it a heavy lift. You could wait till even the week after Christmas, the week between Christmas and New Year's can be a good time to at some point squirrel away again. Now I'll start to get a little more concrete, at least into quarter one, but you can become much more concrete in the year as to, do I want to do vacations? When am I going to do those? Where do I want to do this thing? When do I want to do? It's starting to get a little clearer. The work that you do now can serve as a really good foundation into 2026. Don't wait. Don't wait. Now, you may find as you consider this, you may feel like, wow, I need more clarity into my sense of design and identity. I don't even know how I would express who I am in my identity or what my design is. I understand that. Maybe you also are wondering too, like placement and roles. I kind of know those roles, but that isn't really how I live. I don't live understanding them and functioning in those roles and growing in my ability to do it. I don't really think those ways at this point. And the idea of like a God-given purpose, what you have to offer the world, what God's given you to invest in the world, that maybe isn't how you have functioned your life yet at this point either. So I get it. Most people, I find, are living, but they're not living very intentionally. Many believers feel like they're just kind of living and they're kind of responding to opportunities and they're responding to hard things and they're responding to distractions. We all face those things. But the way that they couch it is they say, I'm just trying to follow the Lord. I'm trying to be submissive to the Lord's leading and I will submit to you. That's not how the kingdom works from my perspective. See, that's not how Jesus lived. Jesus lived on purpose. He had purpose in his life. He said, I've got other cities I need to go to. He made it really clear, I'm here to seek and to save the lost. He knows where he's going. I'm headed to Jerusalem. He knows where he's going. So he's living on purpose and he's being present so that he can respond to opportunities and challenges as he needs to. That's what I want to encourage you to be able to do. But you might not, you might find that as a struggle at this point. In all honesty, that's one of my biggest concerns in this world is that I don't see very many people, believers or unbelievers or anybody, living very intentionally with their lives. And so that's part of the work that I feel like God's given me to do. What I have to offer the world is help for those things. So here's what God uses me for. It might be relevant to you, particularly if you feel needs in those things. I help people to cultivate a deeper longing for God. So, part of the thing, one day I was driving down the road with a woman, we had been at a conference, and I can remember I'm driving back from Framingham back to where I lived in Jamaica Plain in Boston. And it was a summer day. It's pretty hot, windows open, and I felt like the Lord say, "You are a herald of longing." I didn't know what that even meant. I didn't know what a herald was, even though you sing, "Hark the herald angels sing." I didn't know what herald was. A herald of longing. I didn't know. I had to go look that up in the dictionary. And that was probably in the late 80s. I know it was in the late 80s. That has shaped me. That is part of my identity, is I help people to long for more of God and experience more of his kingdom. I also have an ability to impart and help people receive a fresh and rounded filling of the Holy Spirit so they can live in power. That's part of being, in an urban church and being exposed to lots of different streams of the church. I have this ability to increase the filling and the awareness and people walking in the power of the Spirit. And the biggest thing that God uses me to do is to help people to discern their identity, their sense of calling and purpose in God. That's what I live for, is to help you discern it and to help you stand up in it and invest your life full on. So as you are considering and reviewing 2025 and clarifying and finishing up what you want to, and as you're starting to clarify 2026, this is the time now that you can really do the underwork for that to have meaning and power and purpose that will last the rest of your life. So if you want some support to get clearer in this season, to lay a foundation for the rest of your life, that's honestly what I do. So if you would like to do that, what you could do is set up a 30-minute, it'd be a free clarity call with me, and we can see what we can do to get you up and running. That's what I do. That's what I'm made for. That's what I'm gifted to do, and it could be helpful to you. So if you would like to do a 30-minute clarity call with me to clarify the underworking of everything I just talked about, you can go to tommygriff.com, TOMMYGRIFF.com. And there's a little video that can explain a little bit what our 30-minute call would be like, and you can get access to my coaching calendar, and we can have a time to get together. But what I want, again, on the big picture, to remind you, don't drift into 2026. It won't happen. Step into it with alignment and purpose. If I can be of help, I'd love to. Go to tommygriff.com. Have an incredible day. May God's hand be upon you. Bye-bye.